Hey guys, QuinntonTV here, and welcome to a brand new video where today we are back with episode 7 of Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, if you don't remember in the last episode, things took a turn. That's one way to put it, I guess. Basically, Sayori has depression, and apparently she likes us and gets hurt by seeing us with Natsuki, basically. That's pretty much the rundown of this entire game. So, right, I don't want you to hurt anymore. I slide my hand down Sayori's arm and squeeze her hand in my own. Do you remember how I said I would always know what's best for you? Do you still believe me? Wordlessly, Sayori nods. Even if you don't understand all of your feelings, I know what you need the most right now, and that's what I'm going to give you. Ooh. Oh, no. What the hell? We can basically friendzone her, or say we love her. Oh. Ugh. You could say I love you in a friend way, though. That's the thing. That's just... this be gay. This is super gay. Oh. Oh, what do I say? Oh, this is hard. I'll have to just say that. You'll always be my dearest friend. What you need most is for things to be like they've always been. Monika told me the truth. She told me how much happier you seemed after I joined the club. I know you're struggling with some really difficult feelings right now, but please trust me that I know what's best and what will make you happy in the end. I promise I'll help get things back to the way they were. I see. Sayori forces a smile for an incredibly pained expression. Ahaha, is this what feels like to get stabbed in the chest? I should write a poem about this. Sayori, it's okay. This is just my punishment, remember? For being so selfish, so please don't worry about these stupid feelings. I know you're right. I knew this whole time that there's no happiness down that path. That's why I came here, so I could get the answer I needed to hear. And the other thing, you're also right that I just want to go back to the way it was. I realise that now. You really do know me better than anyone. I'll trust you with anything at all. So, Sayori's smile finally breaks, and all of a sudden she turns around and drops to her knees. Ah! Clutching her head with both hands, she screams so loudly as she can. I'm so shocked that I don't know how to react. Sayori looks over her shoulder, flashes me one more weak smile before turning and running off. Sayori! I'm left helplessly standing in front of my house. Why am I feeling so horrible about this? And there's nothing more that I could have done. The most I can do is support Sayori through her feelings and help her on the path that's right. By having as much trouble understanding Sayori's feelings as she is, even though I can comfort her, I keep wondering if I should be able to do something more or something different. I know these thoughts will continue to plague me until things are back to the way they were. I'm going to give it everything I've got. Sayori will always be my dearest friend. I'll do whatever it takes to put a smile on her face every day. It's the day of the festival. Of all days, I expected this to be the one where I'd walk to school with Sayori, but Sayori isn't answering her phone. I considered going to her house to wake her up, but decided that's a little too much. Meanwhile, the preparations for the event should be nearly complete. I managed to carry all the cupcakes by myself, by carefully stacking them on 2 trays. Natsuki is already texting up a storm, but I can't respond thanks to my hands being full. Funnily enough, I probably feel the same way as Natsuki about the event. I'm more excited for it to be over so I can spend time with Sayori and Natsuki at the festival. And knowing Monika, I'm sure the event will be great too. Quinton, you're the first one here. Thanks for being early. That's funny. I thought at least Yuri would be here by now. Monika is placing little booklets on each of the desks in the classroom. They must be the ones she prepared that have all the poems we're performing. In the end, I found a random poem online that I thought Monika would like and submitted it. So that's the one I'll be performing. I'm surprised you didn't bring Sayori with you. Yeah, she overslept again. That dummy. You think that on the days this important, she'd try a little harder. I'd say that, but I suddenly remember what Sayori told me yesterday, and I suddenly feel awful knowing it's not nearly that simple for her. I only said it because it's the way I'm used to thinking. But maybe I should have gone to wake her up after all. Ahaha. You should take a little responsibility for it. I mean, especially after your exchange with her yesterday. You kind of left her hanging this morning, you know. Exchange? Monika, you know about that? Of course I do. I'm the club president, after all, but... I stammer, embarrassed. Did Sayori really tell her about it that quickly? And how I basically turned down her confession? That makes me really seem like the bad guy here. But I'm the one who knows what's best for her, right? Jeez, you don't know the full story at all, so don't worry. I probably know a lot more than you think. Eh? Monika is being as friendly as usual, but for some reason I felt a chill down my spine after hearing that. Hey, do you want to check out the pamphlets? They came out really nice. Yeah, sure. I grabbed one of the pamphlets laid up on the desk. Oh yeah, they really did. Something like this will definitely help people take the club more seriously. Yeah, I thought so too. I've flipped through the pages. Each member's poem is neatly printed out on its own page, giving it an almost professional feel. I recognise Natsuki's and Yuri's poems from the one they performed during our practice. What's this? I flipped to Sayori's poem. It's different from the one she practiced. It's the one that I haven't read before. Get out of my head. Oh my god. Get out of my head before I do what I know is best for you. Get out of my head before I listen to everything she said to me. Get out of my head before I show you how much I love you. Get out of my head before I finish writing this poem. But a poem is never actually finished. It never stops. It just stops moving. Ah, what is this? Reading the poem, I get a pit in my stomach. What's wrong? Ah, nothing. This poem feels completely different from everything else Sayori's written. But more than that, I changed my mind. I'm going to get Sayori, so... well, alright. Try not to take too long, okay? I quickly leave the classroom. Don't strain yourself. Monika calls that out after me. I quicken my pace. What was I thinking? I should have tried a little bit harder for Sayori. It's not a big deal, but to at least wait for her and help her wake up. Even the simple gesture of walking her to school makes her really happy. Besides, I told her yesterday things will be the same as they always have been. So that's all she needs, and what I want to give her. I reach Sayori's house and knock on the door. I don't expect an answer since she's not picking up her phone either. Like yesterday, I open the door and let myself in. Sayori? She really is a heavy sleeper, I swallow. I can't believe I ended up doing this after all. Waking her up in her own house. Isn't that more like something a boyfriend would do? In any case, it just feels right. Outside Sayori's room, I knock on the door. Sayori? Wake up, dummy. There's no response. I really didn't want to have to enter her room like this, but isn't it a kind of breach of privacy? Which really leaves me no choice. I gently open the door. Sayori? Jesus Christ, that scared the shit out of me. Oh, the music's getting spooky. An exception has occurred. This file game/scripts line 307 see traceback. What the hell? What the hell? Is this a nightmare? It has to be. This isn't real. There's no way this can be real. Sayori wouldn't do this. Everything was normal up until a few days ago. That's why I can't believe what my eyes are showing me. I suppressed the urge to vomit. Just yesterday, I told Sayori I would be there for her. I told her I know what's best and what everything will be okay. Then why? Why would she do this? How could I be so helpless? What did I do wrong? Turning down a confession? That has to be what pushed her over the edge. Her agonized scream still echoes in my ears. Why did I do that to her when she needed me the most? Why was I so selfish? This is my fault. My swarming thoughts keep telling me everything I could have done to prevent this. If I just spent more time with her, walked her to school, and gave her what I know she wanted out of our relationship, and I could have prevented this. And I know I could have prevented this. Screw the literature club. Screw the festival. I just lost my best friend. Someone I grew up with. She's gone forever now. Nothing I can do to bring her back. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. I had only one chance and I wasn't careful enough, and now I'll carry this guilt with me until I die. Nothing in my life is worth more than hers, but I still couldn't do it what she needed for me, and now I can never take it back. Never, 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 never. End. Or is it? There's the question. Because this isn't the end of the game, by the way. As you can see, it's completely fucked right now. And they've deleted Sayori, because something's happening. I know what's happening, because I've watched Let's Plays of this now. I know what's happening, but I'm not going to say something, so I'm pretty sure I just pressed that. Fucking Arabic out here. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is my neighbour and good friend since we were children. I'm sorry, I can't get past that. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I would feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let catch up to me. Oh my god, that's seizure-inducing. And I fucked the game, somehow. It's an ordinary school day like any other. Mornings are usually the worst, being surrounded by couples and friend groups walking to school together. Meanwhile, I've always walked to school alone. I always tell myself it's about time I meet some girls or something like that. But I have no motivation to join any clubs. I'm perfectly content just getting by on an average while spending my free time on games and anime. There's always the anime club, but it's not like there will be any girls in it. You never know, depends what anime it is. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. There really aren't any that interest me. Besides, most of them will probably be way too demeaning for me to want to deal with. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Quinton? Monika? Oh my goodness, I totally didn't expect to see you here. It's been a while, right? Ah, yeah, it has. Monika smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talk, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in my class. Smart, beautiful, athletic, basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... What did you come in here for, anyway? Oh, I've just been looking for supplies to use for my club. Do you know if there's any construction paper in here? Or markers? I guess you could just check the closet. You're in the debate club, right? Aha, about that. I actually quit the debate club. Really? You quit? Yeah. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. In that case, what club did you decide to join? Actually, I'm starting a new one. A literature club. Dun dun dun. Literature? That sounds kind of dull. How many members do you have so far? It's kind of embarrassing, but there are only 3 of us so far. It's really hard to find new members for something that sounds so boring. Well, I can see that, but it's really not boring at all, you know. Literature can be anything. Reading, writing, poetry. I mean, one of my members even keeps a manga collection in the club room. Wait, really? Yeah, it's funny, right? She always insists that manga is literature, too. I mean, she's not wrong, I guess. And besides, a member's a member, right? Did Monika say she? Hey, Quinton. By any chance are you still looking for a club to join? Ah, I mean, I guess so, but in that case... Is there any chance you could do me a big favour? I won't ask you to join, but if you could at least at the very least, visit my club, it would make me really happy, please. Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Besides, how could I ever refuse someone like Monika? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Ah, awesome. You're really sweet, Quinton, you know that. It's nothing really. Shall we go then? I'll go look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus today marks the day I saw my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. I timidly follow Monika across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used to third-year classes and activities. Monika, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Oh my god, it's having a spaz attack. I'm back! And I brought a guest with me. Eh? A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Quinton. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess, you're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is the one I don't recognise. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Monika. Yeah, it's nice to meet you both. So I ran into Quinton in the classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, did I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry, I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come down, sit down, Quinton? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the Literature Club, it's my duty to make the club feel fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something that's brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places down a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave her permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? Ah, I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated, Yuri. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I mean, that, you know, I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in release. So, Quinton, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, I consider how little I've read these past few years. I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga. I utter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of a teacup with her finger. My favourites are usually novels. Yeah, we've seen this all. What does skip not even work? Whoa, that was it glitched there. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Because we have seen most of this. It's just occasionally you get a glitch. I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes don't over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you never really write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? Poor Natsuki. You leave a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you're working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! And give it that back. Fine. Yeah, apparently the skip option's not a thing. We can just skip through most of this. Hey, I got an idea. Oh, it's poem time. Yep. It's just there's no Sayori, unfortunately. It's like the game's been restart, but Sayori's been deleted. I'm just spamming through this because... Yeah, we've seen it all. You really scare me at that. I mean, if you really just left after all this, I would be super pissed. I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're an official amazing. You'll do anything I can get. It's a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next lesson so we can all share. Monika looks over to me at once. Quinton, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hee. Yep. Can I really impress the... Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the club room and make my way home. This whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the three girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the same chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Fuck's sake, I hate this. No. You unlocked a special poem, would you like to read it? I can't convince myself to go to therapy when I'm happiest I've ever been. I'd rather keep this until I blow my cover and someone takes me to the emergency room. Okay. Okay, now Sayori's gone, obviously. She would normally be here. We have Natsuki and Yuri. Right. Oh, Strawberry. Obviously, I tried to impress Natsuki the first time. Well, the first run, I guess, of the game. But who knows? I guess we just go back, forth, back, forth. Extraordinary. Heaven sent. So why the fuck is that even there? Anime, yes. Boop. And then we go not Natsuki, Yuri. Philosophy. We're gonna try and impress Yuri this time, I think, because we kind of gave her a bit of a, you know, ignored. We basically just ignored her the first time, so we may as well. Glad to see, blah blah blah. Welcome back to the Literature Club. It's the last time to come in, so everyone has already hung out. Thanks for keeping your promise. Yuri's face just spazzed out. I hope this isn't too overwhelming for a commitment for you. Make you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh my god, what the fuck was that? Was that an angel from Evangelion? I really had to dragged here by Monika. I didn't know if that plan to just come here and hang out or what. Monika's appeared over the text box. Manga is literature. Poor Natsuki. We can always go for Natsuki again. Don't worry. This is just that stupid book thing she gave us. No, it's not that. I want to be part of this club. So even if I don't read often, yeah, she's giving me the book. Blah, 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 blah. Yuri's face. I can't help but notice her intense expression. Yeah, is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more, but at the same time, I feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of the book. It looks like the same book she lent me. More than that, she seemed to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, her eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes me hide her face deeper in the book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. I was focused then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so that's the book you gave me, right? I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any reason in particular. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Ah, well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's the story about, anyway? Well, a look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. It's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. It looks a bit Lovecraftian. Basically, it's about a religious camp that's turned into a human experiment prison, and the people trapped there has this trait that turns them into killing machines with lust for blood. And the facility gets even worse. They start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... Oh, that might be a little bit of a spoiler. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, not the thing about the limbs. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so the dark turn came from nowhere. Ah, are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Quinton? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just this kind of story is the kind of challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Then suddenly... Oh, I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologise. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let, books and writing fill my thoughts, my whole body gets... Oh, I can't read that. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people, so I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's... Well, that's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading right now. Yes. I mean, you don't have to, but... Aha, what are you saying? Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yeah. Are you sure? You seem to be a little apprehensive. I'm so sorry. It's not like I didn't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. I was reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's if I can feel her presence over my shoulders as I read. It's not particularly a bad thing, but maybe a little distracting. But the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realise she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry! I was just bathing in the feeling, oh my god, that's a bit weird. Yuri, you're really apologising a lot, don't you? I do? Oh, I apologise a lot. I ended up fucking apologising to a table the other day. No clue why the fuck I did that. I walked into it and just said sorry. I think there's something genuinely wrong with me. Sorry. I mean, here, this should work right. I slide my desk until it's against Yuri's, then I hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, or huddled even closer together than before, it actually kind of distracted me. It's if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Oh, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and her eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep it up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she's finished the page before me, so I turn it by my own We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri, this might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. No, I don't relate to this character at all. Definitely not. Really? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things before she says that and all. That's what you were talking about. Sorry, I thought you meant something else about her. Something else? Never mind. Didn't even get that far yet. So I don't know what that came into my head. Yuri, you feeling alright? Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel a heartbeat. I didn't even notice. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Right, don't push yourself. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out the classroom. What on earth was that about? Quinton? Did something happen just now? I have no idea. Yuri was acting a bit strange, I guess. So you don't know anything? I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing. Haha, don't worry, I believe you, silly. Yuri just does that sometimes. It's nothing alarming. Alright, if I say so. Anyway, why don't we start sharing with our poems with each other, Who should write for? Oh my god, I swear, I hate fucking sharing poems. It takes forever. Natsuki, poor Natsuki. Oh, she's just making fun of us. Oh, we've seen this one already. Poor Natsuki. Yeah, we've all seen this before, so... Right, now we just show Monika. Hey, Quinton. Don't be afraid. I'll keep that in mind, of course. Anyway, don't worry. Great job. Oh dear. Right, we've all seen this before. It repeats itself, I'm pretty sure. And I know why, but I don't want to say too much. How long have we got left in the video? That's a better question. 1 minute. No. Nice. Right, suddenly the door opened. Yuri, I'm back. Did I miss anything? Not really. Well, at least we started sharing our poems with each other. Already? I'm sorry for being so late. No need to apologise. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad that you took all the time you needed. Alright, thanks Monika. I suppose I should get to my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now too? Don't worry, it's not very good. We've seen this before. Hole in the wall, we've read this one before. I'm gonna skip through most of the stuff like that we've seen before, because I don't want you guys to get too bored. Because we're not near the end of the game. I think we're just over halfway through. Hey Yuri, there we go. Exceptional. Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers a mouth, then ends up covering a whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. And there's the timer. Right. So I'm going to end... Oh, wow, they've emptied us save slots as well. But anyway, I'm going to end out today's video here. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Make sure you go and follow the Discord, because that's always needed. Follow me on Twitter, Twitch, etc. Make sure you go and drop me a follow, because I stream semi-regularly anyway. But anyway, I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.